welcome to the World of Wrestling podcast. I'm Slim. Usually I'd be joined by Carl, but circumstances have stopped him from joining this week. So we're gonna get an episode out, but it's just going to be me this time. So there won't be very many conversations about what happened, but whatever. I'll try to give my 2 cents on what happened anyway. So we'll start it off with WrestleMania Night 1. Pre-show match was Gulak vs Cesaro. It was a decent match, exactly what we thought we'd get from a Cesaro-Gulak match. It did feel a little bit weird when Cesaro won, but whatever, it's alright. The main show then started with Stephanie McMahon addressing everyone at home about what's going on and all that. The Gronk and Mojo Rawley then welcomed us to WrestleMania. The first match of the actual WrestleMania card was the women's tag title match. It was alright, the action was good, no crowd heard it because the Kabuki Warriors and Nikki Cross would scream a lot and it got very annoying. Sucked that Kabuki's lost, but I didn't mind that Wilson Cross won, it was fine. Then we got Elias vs Corbin. Before the match, Corbin came out wanting a forfeit, but Elias then made his way down to the ring, smashed him with a guitar before the bell. The match was alright, didn't care about it anyway because nobody cared about it. The ending was quite funny with Corbin going for a dirty pin with his feet on the ropes, but the ref caught him and Elias won with holding the tights on Corbin. Then we got Becky versus Baszler for the Raw Women's title. It was alright. Again, they screwed up the finish to another Becky Lynch WrestleMania match when they had Becky win. Baszler should have really destroyed Becky and won a couple of minutes, and having Becky win sort of really hurt the match. We then got Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. When Bryan came out, the Bronco Mojo did his yes chants, which was quite funny. I enjoyed that. The match was very one-sided, with Bryan absolutely kicking the shit out of Zayn before Nakamura and Cesaro got involved. They got rid of Gulak and distracted Bryan, which allowed Zayn to get the Helluva Kick and win. The Helluva Kick came from when Daniel Bryan was on the top rope. Cesaro and Nakamura distracted him. He then turned around to get Zayn, jumped off the top rope and Helluva Kick. After that, we then got the Triple Threat Ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Titles. It was a really good match. There was some real good spots. The ending was awesome with Kofi, Jimmy, and Morrison all taking the titles down at the same time, but Kofi and Jimmy knocked Morrison off the ladder and he grabbed a hold of the actual belts instead of the thing that they were hanging on and won the match. We then got Rollins versus Owens, which it was alright. Yeah. Bit weird when it ended because it was a no DQ finish with Rollins smacking Owens with the ring bell. Then Owens managed to talk Rollins into having a no DQ match, which was alright again. It didn't really, it was the same as the other match, just they could use weapons. Was the best part of the match was obviously the finish where Owens came off the Mania sign. Then Owens got the pin, which was weird because you'd think that Owens would have won the first match so that Rollins could win the second, but whatever. Then we had a 24/7 championship thing going, segment, whatever. Mojo ended up walking out with the title after chucking Gronk off Troy. Then we got Goldberg versus Braun. It was a 2K20 match with the finish is set to unlimited because it was like 4 spears, a jackhammer attempt, and then 4 power slams, I'm pretty sure it was. And Braun won the belt. And then we got the Boneyard match. It was awesome. I loved it. It was great. From start to finish, it was worthy of being a Mania match. Night 1 of WrestleMania is definitely worth watching just for that match. We'll move on to WrestleMania Night 2, where the pre-show match was Liv Morgan vs Natalya. It was an alright match. Liv won, which was the right result. Couldn't really care less about the match though. Steph kicks off the main show again, doing the same thing as what she did on Night 1. Gronk then welcomes us by himself because Mojo's obviously run off since he's got 3-7 title. Opening match for Night 2 is Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's title. It was good. I find that Charlotte's not as good as what everybody thinks she is. She does some good stuff and then some questionable stuff. Especially the spear, she sort of didn't move and then just jumped because Rhea happened to have been close enough to her that she could have just jumped the spear. But there was no running involved, it was weird. Charlotte shouldn't have won, but whatever. She got the win with the figure 8. Yeah, Rhea should have really won. Then we got Aleister Black vs Bobby Lashley. It was alright. Black won after Lashley was about to hit the Dominator 2.0, but Lana told him to spear Black instead, which then Black reversed and won. I believe reversed it with a Black Max. We then got Ziggler versus Otis. It was a good match, I reckon. I really think it's a good match. Ziggler was about to win with a low blow, but Mandy Rose came out and tossed Sonya in the ring. That's right, Sonya Deville accompanied Ziggler. Should probably mention that. While Sonya was in the ring, the ref got distracted. Mandy then low blowed Ziggler. Otis hit Caterpillar for the win and got his kiss from Mandy, who he then carried out of the arena, which feel good win. Mania for that was cool. We then got the last man standing match between Edge and Randy Orton. It was half an hour, and at least 20 minutes of that was them walking around backstage, doing things that looked like it might hurt Edge's neck every time, and pretty much just showing off the backstage of the Performance Center. And then Edge came back, and when they got on top of this big trailer thing, Edge hit some spears and whatnot before hitting a concerto on Orton for the win, like what Orton's been doing. I did like the start of the match where Orton was disguised as a cameraman so that he could sneak around in RKO. That was cool. After the last man standing match, we got the 24/7 title stuff again. Grump won it eventually. He dove off the little thing that the Performance Center has, like the little balcony stage thing. He dove off that on level 1. After that, Titus O'Neil became the host. Tom Phillips did screw up this because he called that Mojo won the 24/7 title earlier in the night, except he won it on Night 1, which was a night before. Although I do know that was just filmed out in the day, but for the continuity of what was actually going on, he got it wrong. After all that, we got the Raw tag title match. It was good. Ending was great. Theory and Garza almost won. Theory hit TKO on Dawkins. Was making the cover. Got the 2 count before a frog splash from Ford. And then Dawkins pretty much just rolled him over and covered him for the win. I wish that Theory and Garza had won because I really want to see them hold the Raw belts and Andrade with the US title. It was pretty cool. After the match, Theory and Garza attacked the Profits and Vega started attacking them too. That was... I sort of knew that something was going to happen there because then Bianca Belair came out, attacked Vega, and Belair and the Profits stood tall at the end of the match. Then we got the Firefly SmackDown Women's title match. It was alright. Tamina went out first because, of course, she did. It took everyone to pin her though. Naomi then went out after a bank statement from Sasha. Bayley and Sasha broke down when Bayley accidentally got Sasha with a knee. Lacey then hit the women's right on Banks and got rid of her. Bayley eventually won after Sasha hit Evans with a backstabber and Bayley hit a finisher, whatever it is, the weird knee driver thing. And it looks like Sasha wants to take the belt from Bayley, maybe at SummerSlam. It's been 5 years since their takeover match at SummerSlam, or at Takeover Brooklyn, and I believe SummerSlam's going to be in Brooklyn this year, if it goes on from where it went to instead of the Performance Center. Then we had the Funhouse match, which was very weird. It was pretty much just Bray going through every stage of Cena's career before the Fiend showed up. Locked in the Men of Claw, hit the Sister Abigail, locked the Men of Claw back in, then Bray counted the King. It was a weird match, but it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I had to go back and watch it a second time to see what I actually thought of it, but it was alright. Then we got the main event, which was Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. It was a good match. Brock dominated most of it. Hit 3 F5s. Drew hit 4 Claymores to win the belt. He hit 3 in a row, I believe, and that's how he kept Brock down. Brock obviously hit the first F5, and Drew kicked out at 1. That was a good point. Then hit another F5 and Drew kicked out at 2. And then everyone, I guess, sort of thought, he'll hit a third F5 and it'll be a 3 count. But no, he kicked out again, which technically means Drew McIntyre is better than The Undertaker. I'm not going to say that he wasn't, or he isn't, but, after the Bone Round match, maybe he isn't. Who knows? WrestleMania, on a whole, I enjoyed it. Night 1 was better, but it was good. I won my 10th predictions title from that show too. I'm now 10-time predictions champ. We'll then move on to Raw. The show starts with a recap of Lesnar McIntyre from Mania. Then we get Asuka versus Liv Morgan. It was a good back and forth match, but Asuka was obviously going to win, and she did with the Asuka lock after a good fight. It was good. Then we got a recap from Baszler and Becky. Then we got the Profits versus Theory and Garza for the titles again in a rematch. Went sort of the same way as what the Mania match did, except the Profits won by DQ this time when Vega got involved. After that, Belair came out. She says that she now goes to Raw. Then we got Belair versus Vega. It was a good match, pretty much a squash match for Belair, but the match got told off when the Profits and Theory and Garza started brawling on the outside, and then I believe that went into the ring. Then after that, we got the Profits and Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega, Austin Theory, and Angel Garza. It was an alright match. It was pretty much the 2 matches that took place before all rolled into one. Bianca Belair and the Street Profits won when Belair hit the KOD on Vega. After that, we then get a backstage interview from WrestleMania with Lashley and He then leaves when Lana shows up because he may be a little bit pissed that she cost him the match. After that, we get Aleister Black vs Apollo Crews. Crews is now on Raw for the SmackDown. It was a great match. It was very back and forth. I thought it'd be a squash for Black, but it seems like they're trying to build up Crews. I don't know. They didn't do anything with him on SmackDown. I just see him getting lost even further in the shuffling room. I don't know. Black wins by pinfall with Black Mass. It was a really good match. So Crews can be really, really good if he's given the time, but I doubt they will. Then we have a recap of the Last Man Standing match for Mania. Then we have Cedric and Ricochet versus the Brit Brawlers, which is Oney Walker and Danny Burch from NXT. It was fun. The match was fun. Burch and Lorcan had control of the match until the end, where Ricochet pinned Lorcan. After that, we had a recap of the Mania match between Rollins and Owens. Owens then cuts a promo saying that his rivalry with Rollins is over, and he's going to keep fighting because it's the Kevin Owens show. Rollins then comes out for a squash match against Denzel Dejanay. It was a squash match, obviously. Rollins won't stop. Yeah. Then Nia Jax returned after a year. She didn't injure anyone, which was good. She had pretty much a squash match against Deonna Purrazzo, and Nia apparently now uses the Rampage. And yeah, the match was fine. I don't really like Nia, so yeah. We then get a recap of Boneyard match. Then we get Humberto Carrillo versus Brendan Vink. I didn't realise that Vink was Australian, but he is. It was an okay match. It wasn't anything great. Vink actually had control of most of the match. Carrillo also won with a moonsault. Nothing special, just a moonsault. Then there's a recap of the NXT Women's title match at Mania. Then a post-match interview from Mania with Charlotte, who says she's been a champion everywhere except NXT UK that she didn't mention. Rhea, she also says that Rhea was alright, but everyone bows down to the Queen. After that, we have a recap of the Lesnar McIntyre match. We see footage of what happened after the Lesnar McIntyre match, which has in-ring promo where Drew says that it hadn't sunk in that he's won. He went to the back after Mania went off there, got the side plates changed, and come back out for this interview. He talks about what happened in the match. Then the Big Show returned. It was the unexpected. Show returns, congratulates Drew, and challenges Drew to a match. Not for the belt, but a match right then. Show slaps Drew. Drew then accepts the match. Before that, he was just saying, "Oh, I'm not going to fight you. I just fought Brock Lesnar. I want to fight you." So Drew then gets pissed off enough that says, "You know what? The match is on." And it turns out that it's a title match anyway. Show dominates the match before Drew comes back. He then gets choke slammed for a 2 count. I really thought the Big Show was going to win. I was just waiting for a KO punch, but Drew hit a Claymore, just one Claymore, for a 3 count. We will then move on to Being the Elite, which is a little bit weird, but they did have matches on Being the Elite, so I figured, why not? First match was SCU vs Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon. It was a decent match. It was pretty good. I liked it. SCU won because Cutler and Avalon couldn't get along. and they're both on a losing streak, so they're almost going to lose. The main event was High Risk versus the Young Bucks. It was another really good match. The Bucks won because who the hell is High Risk? We'll move on to Aiden Dark now. The show began and it was QT Marshall versus Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson is QT Marshall's student. It was a good match. QT Marshall won with a Swanton Bomb. During the match, Lee hit a Swerve's house that hit a Isaiah Swerve Scott's house call during the match. It was weird and cool at the same time. I sort of like, that's a Swerve thing. After that, we get Ryan Piles versus Wardlow. Wardlow gets in the ring wearing a suit and everything, and then just takes it all off while in the ring, like he forgot to get changed. But anyway, Pile charges it. Wardlow gets it with an F5, F10 even, and wins, which is an F5, but Wardlow spins around while he's on his shoulders. So F10, it was a squash match. The main event of Dark was Tony Giannotti versus Kip Sabian. Giannotti almost won with a very, very nice hammerlock brainbuster, but in the end Sabian won with a submission version of a Rings of Saturn. It was a leg lock version of the Rings of Saturn. It was a good match though. Then we'll go to Dynamite. The show starts off with a Jake Roberts promo on saying how dangerous Lance Archer is. Jericho is on commentary this week, and out came Archer. And he fought Alan Angels, or Angels, whatever it was, I can't remember. It was either Angels or Angels. It was a squash match. Archer won, obviously. Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida was next. It started off as just a shoving match, but then it diverted to a slugfest. Britt Baker gets a bloody nose. It was a great match. There was a great sequence when Shida hit a Falcon Arrow that gets turned into a roll up, and then a lockjaw, and then a crucifix. In the end, though, Shida won with a running knee strike to the seat of Baker. After that, we get a video package with Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa. Omega and Nakazawa were saying that they're best friends, and they should come up with a tag team name. And Nakazawa said, "How about best friends?" When Orange Cassidy and Trent and Chuck Taylor, that's his name, all walked in. They then said that we'll have a match then, and the winners call themselves the best friends. After the video package, we get the rankings. Then we get a recap of the Moxley Hager feud. We then have a promo between Cody and Shawn Spears. They're sort of video packages that were running simultaneously, sort of thing. Next we have Omega and Nakazawa versus best friends. Winner calls themselves the best friends. Before the match, Spears has a go at Nakazawa, saying that he's still looking for a partner, and Nakazawa needs to impress him. It was a fun match, but it was great and everything, but I didn't believe that Omega and Nakazawa were going to win, and best friends won with Code Zero. Spears didn't think that Nakazawa was good enough to be tag partners with him anyway. After that, we get a Exalted One segment, which was pretty funny, like they all are. Then after that, there's a backstage promo with Britt Baker, who says she's a role model and Shida is a dirty wrestler because she busted her nails. After that, we get a hot package for Jake Hager. We then get another Moxley and Hager hot package. Then we have a Matt Hardy video package where he runs down in a circle. We then get a squash match, which is Lee Johnson versus Brody Lee. After that, we have obviously Brody Lee wins that match. After that, we get a hype package for the Spears and Cody match, which is up next in our main event. It was a great match. Sort of halfway through, Cody gets suplexed onto a guardrail, which was cool. Cody sets up a table, and Spears eventually gets Cody and hits an AA over the top rope and puts Cody through it. As Spears goes to win, Cody reverses it into a C4. Cody reverses the C4 into two crossroads. He hits one, then thinks, no, it's a wrong one. I'll hit that one. It's cool. Hits a second crossroads and 1, 2, kick it. Spears kicked it. That was awesome. Didn't expect that. But then Cody opted the figure four, and somehow, never happened before, but Cody manages to get a pin off of the figure four. Never seen that before. Although on Dynamite, before I move on, the crowd got involved physically multiple times during the show, and there was no DQs or anything like that. A little bit weird. Pineapple Pete was the main culprit, and Jericho kept calling that out on commentary. He doesn't like Pineapple Pete. I reckon we'll get a match between them. But we'll move on to NXT, which starts with a recap of the Ciampa Gargano rivalry. Then we have the ladder match to kick the show off properly. There's a lot happens. Dakota Kai got attacked by Tegan Knox, Candice LeRae and Mia Yim. Chelsea Green bulldogs Io Shirai and Candice LeRae on the ladder. That's cool. There was a battle for who can climb the ladder. Breaks out between everyone. Io makes it to the top by herself until Reina Gonzalez pushes the ladder over. But instead of doing what most people do when they fall off a ladder, Io just sort of steps on the top rope and hits a crossbody onto everyone else who is on the outside. Then Gonzalez tries to climb the ladder with Kai on his shoulders before being stopped. Knox and Yin put Gonzalez through a table before Knox gets put through a ladder by Dakota Kai. That was quite cool. But she just put her through a table and then she gets put through a ladder. Io Shirai takes out Dakota Kai, and Candice LeRae and Chelsea Green try to get her up the ladder. She can't until Chelsea Green had an injured leg apparently, and so Robert Stone starts climbing the ladder and pulls her up. But then LeRae and Shirai push them off the ladder, and Shirai attacks Candice LeRae's eyes and pushes LeRae off onto a ladder that was set up in the corner. It was like a bridged in between the top and the middle turnbuckle. So Shirai pushed Candice off onto that and then unhooked the briefcase to win. So we get to look forward to Charlotte versus Io Shirai at some point. That'll be a good match, hopefully, depending on what Charlotte decides to do. After that, we get a recap of what happened between Imperium and Finn Balor. And then we get to see the Alexander Wolf and Finn Balor match from NXT UK. Then Balor says that he's coming for the UK title at some point. And then after that, we get a recap of what happened between Matt Riddle and Indus Sher, which is the Malcolm Bivens thing that happened last week. After that, we get a Killer Cross promo, and then a recap of what happened to Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde. Then we get Indus Sher versus Everrise. It was a squash match for Indus Sher. Adam Cole then sends in a promo from his pool saying that Dream doesn't deserve a title shot. It's then announced after that there will be a tournament to determine a interim cruiserweight champ due to Devlin not being able to defend the belt anywhere because of what's going on. We then get a recap of the NXT Women's title match from Mania, and we get backstage interviews from both Charlotte and Rhea. Then we get the main event, which is Gargano Ciampa. It is shot like the Boneyard match, and it is awesome. It's taking the best of the Boneyard match and the best of the Last Man Standing match and putting them together. It was awesome. It's an all-out brawl. It goes from an empty arena to the parking lot, back to the ring. Candice LeRae eventually shows up and kicks Gargano in the balls. Ciampa then says it's over and apologises to Gargano. Then Candice turns around and low blows Ciampa. It's revealed that Gargano is wearing a cut, and it seems like LeRae has now turned heel. Gargano then hits the fairy tale ending on Ciampa for the win. It was cool. Obviously, there's got to be another match, and I think that they're going to give them an Iron Man match, maybe, or a 3 stages of Hell match. That would probably be better. And one of those stages is an Iron Man match, and then the last stage is going to be just whoever knocks the other one out. That would be cool. Maybe Last Man Standing. They've already done that. I don't know, something like that. We'll move on to NXT UK, which was just a recap of the UK brand starting, and then it goes all the way up to Malta's arrival. So it's just the old shit, whatever. We'll move on to SmackDown after that. The show kicks off with Braun Strowman. We get a recap of the Universal title match at Mania. Strowman then talks about beating Goldberg before getting interrupted. He got interrupted by no one special, just Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura says last time that they were together, Nakamura and Zayn and Cesaro beat Braun Strowman. Strowman then says that later tonight Nakamura's going to get these hands before Cesaro tries to attack, and it doesn't go so well for either of them. After that, we get a rematch from WrestleMania with the roles reversed, and it's Kabuki Warriors vs Bliss and Cross for the women's tag titles. Before that, we get a recap of what happened at Mania in the match. Bliss and Cross eventually win the match with a twisting neck breaker from Cross. It was better than the Mania match due to being less irritating because everyone wasn't screaming at each other. After that, we get an Elias concert, and obviously they were trying to push for time because Elias didn't get interrupted. Then we had a recap of all the Otis and Mandy stuff. Then Ziggler came out with Sonya Deville vs Tucker. Before the match, Tucker says that he's got some pictures for Dolph to see because obviously Ziggler came out saying to Otis that he's got some pictures for him to see a couple of weeks ago. It was a decent match. Ziggler wins after a long sequence. It's back and forth until Tucker gets posted and then super kicked. No zigzag or anything, just a super kick. 1, 2, 3. We then see the end of the Triple Threat ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Titles, and after that, we get another edition of the Dirt Sheet. Miz is back. Okay. Miz is back. They shared some good news. They had a couple of points of good news. They then also show the end of the Boneyard match, which is weird. Obviously they're pushing for time because they then perform their hit single, Hey Hey, before being interrupted by the Usos, who talk about how both Miz and Morrissey should have to defend the belts instead of just one of them. Then the New Day interrupt saying that they want the other members to compete for the tag belts next week, which is confirmed to happen next week. So next week we get Miz versus Jay versus Big E with a triple threat match. We then get the Forgotten Sons, who are debuting on SmackDown against the House Party. It's Blake and Cutler versus Menelik and Dorado because Riker doesn't do that much wrestling and Kalisto's injured. It's pretty much a squash match, sort of. It's sort of just there to show how good the Suns are. It was alright. Blake and Cutler won with the tag team finisher, which I've got no quibbles. We then get a backstage promo with Bliss and Cross, who say they're unbeatable. Then Dana Brooke and Carmella say that they want a title shot, and Bliss and Cross accept the challenge. Banks and Bayley are out next. Bayley talks about Mania and says she's beating everyone. Bayley then say that her and Banks are the best before being interrupted by Tamina. She says she deserves a title match because it took everyone to beat her. Bayley says that Tamina can have the title match if she can beat Sasha. So, obviously, Sasha's going to get destroyed. And that will probably fuel more tension between the two of them, and Sasha will eventually turn on Bayley because Bayley keeps screwing her over. We then get Sheamus out to versus Cal Bloom. It was a squash match. Sheamus won with a brogue kick. Then we get a look at Jeff Hardy and the journey he's had in the WWE. It's a couple of part series that they're now doing. Then we get the main event. It's Strowman versus Nakamura. It was a great match, mostly Strowman, but Nakamura got a few parts. Strowman won with the running power slam. Then after that, we got a Firefly Funhouse, which was cool. Bray says that Cena's right. We can't see him. He then congratulates Braun before saying that Braun turned his back on Bray. Bray thinks that he can forgive Braun if Braun says he's sorry, but Braun doesn't. Bray then turns around and says, "Well, I want my belt back." And since he brought Braun in, he guesses that he'll have to take him out. Braun then says that any time, any place, he will be ready to let Bray in. Awesome way to finish SmackDown. Can't wait for Bray versus the Fiend, Braun versus the Fiend. Will we get Braun versus the Fiend, or will it just be Bray? I don't know. Might just be Bray so that Bray can lose. I don't know. We'll then move on to 205, which is cool. To kick the show off, we get Tony Nese versus Danny Burch. It was a great match, really back and forth, until Nese eventually wins with the running Nese. Nese then gets out of the ring and talks to commentary for a long time. Like, the match ends, he gets out of the ring, starts yelling at commentary saying, like, you know, everything, who's the best, whatever. Jordan Devlin sends a message in saying that because he can't travel, there's going to be a new interim cruiserweight champion. But when he is able to travel, he will beat that new cruiserweight champion and establish himself back as the top of the cruiserweight division. Then we come back and Tony Nese is still talking to commentary. And that happens up until the point that Gallagher makes his entrance to versus Lorcan. The match was back and forth. Gallagher is mostly on top. It is super hard hitting, really hard hitting, very, very stiff match. Probably worth watching 205 Live for that. It's super hard, like those chops really hurt. Nese comes back to sit at ringside. The end of the match comes after a headbutt from Gallagher. It looks like he might be about to win when Nese attacked him, causing him DQ. Tony Nese then seems to go to attack Oney Lorcan with the chair, but Danny Burch comes out and runs him off. So overall, this week of wrestling was pretty good. Obviously, we started with Mania. Night 1 was the best. I do prefer Night 1 to Night 2, but the whole lot's really good. You should probably watch that. Raw was alright. Yeah, there was some good parts of Raw. Being the Elite is always worth watching, I reckon, and next week there will also be matches. I do believe that it's going to be High Risk versus SCU. I believe that was announced. Dark was pretty good, obviously. Dynamite was pretty good because it always is. NXT is always alright, so that was cool. NXT UK was just a recap of what happened because I don't believe they've got nothing taped. So, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. SmackDown was pretty good, especially that Firefly Funhouse segment, and 205 Live was a really good show yet again this week. So yes, that's going to be this episode of the podcast. I'm Slim, obviously, and Carl should be back next week. If he's not, I guess I'll just do it by myself again. So, from me to you, goodbye.